guys, now in today's video I'm here in the poultry house. I have come to collect eggs. So they really lay eggs at a very good percentage. They are around 96%. Even when it's been a dry season, we've really cared for these birds. So I'm going to share with you some of the few tips that have helped us to maintain that high level of production in a small poultry farm. You're welcome to my YouTube channel. Don't mind about my hair, you guys. It's been a dry season and I'm yet to make it, you know. And then I'm not having an overall. I've washed it, so I really don't want you guys to be like, yeah, she's not wearing relevant clothes, you know. Okay, let's collect eggs. These birds are really making a lot of noise. Let me show you. It's 11 in the morning, but the laying box is already full of eggs, so it's really a good thing. If you are watching me for the very first time, my name is Asperia, and this is my YouTube channel. And just like this, our birds have turned into laying machines. Like, you know, guys, having a small poultry farm and all of them are productive, such a great achievement that you can't just hesitate to share. So this video is intending to encourage you, like as a beginner or as someone who is planning to start poultry farming, to just raise your appetite and begin this venture. It's really worth it. So look at the size of the eggs. It's really giving. Subscribe, join us, and like the video. I know we are going to grow together. And so we've been feeding these birds very well. I told you the feeds that we are using. If you don't know the feeds that we are using, people, then go and check on the videos. I've shared videos when I'm mixing the feeds for my birds, and I've always mentioned the feeds that we use. And our birds are producing eggs. You guys, they have yellow yolk. I've always given them some greens as well. I give them charcoal, I give them aloe vera, I give them vitamins, and these hens are really pampered, like they are cared for. And so if you are a poultry farmer or you are a beginner, you want to start a poultry farm, you have to understand that these birds, they're also like human beings. You give them what they need and they give you what you need. If you don't feed these birds very well, you don't give them good drinking water, they also don't lay well. They just need care. The moment you care for these birds, you handle the issue of food very well. They give you the best of their best, and we've really seen it on our farm. Even when these birds have been struggling with the hot weather, we've been able to achieve the production, and it is very good to share with you guys. So the very first thing you need to consider, if you want to maintain production at that high level, you have to make sure that you use right feeds, right measurements. You measure the feeds very well and you mix them properly. I've shared video about how to mix the feeds for your birds. If you have, actually for us, we buy a concentrate and then maize, broken maize and maize bran and then lime, and then we mix the feed ourselves. Apparently our birds week 42, the first bunch, they have grown. They are really big, and they are eating the layers mash on the level of layers grade 1, and they are going to eat that one up to week 45, and then from week 45 to infinity, that is when they will start layer grade 2. That is when we increase on the concentration of limestone, you see. So these birds have really been fed well, I can say. We give them feeds on time. I've realized that these birds keep changing. When they were at around week 24, week 24 to 28, they were eating a lot of food. Like, you would put food before you know it, the feeds are ready. Hey! Before you know it, like we would put feeds, before we even move out, they are already clearing their feeders. Of course, we have big feeders and we don't have to fill these feeders with food. We measure the feeds. I showed you a video how I measure my feeds in kilograms for my birds. I don't want them to eat less or excess. With these birds, if you give them excess, they will not sympathize with you. They are going to eat the feeds and still give you the same number of eggs, the same size even. So you have to measure and give them what they need exactly. So I give them feeds at the right time. We give them feeds in the morning, and then later in the evening. So they eat in 2 shifts. The food we put in the evening takes them throughout, because we switch off lights at around 9 p.m. in the night, and then in the morning we use daylight. We don't actually give them light again. So that food we put it at around 6, so they are able to eat for like 4 hours before we switch off the lights, and then they rest. And in the morning we wake up and add more feeds. They eat throughout the day as they lay for us the eggs, and they are active in the house. So when you feed them properly, they will give you enough eggs that you need, so feed them very well. Then number 2, reducing the risk of diseases. I've already said this in my videos, and I will still say, when these birds fall sick, the very first thing you will notice is that a drop in production. They don't lay eggs because they don't feel good. They are not active. So when you reduce on the risk of diseases, how do we do that? We have to adhere to the biosecurity measures. That is, when you are entering the poultry house, make sure you disinfect your gumboots yourself. Don't allow people to just enter your poultry house unnecessarily. If they must enter or if they must come around, make sure they are disinfected. That in that way you limit diseases on your poultry farm. And when the birds are not sick, they will produce very well. Regardless of other conditions, they will still produce very well. And then number 3, I always talk about feeding. Let me also talk about water. These birds, when they start laying, they take a lot of water. These birds do not drink water. They do not lay eggs very well as you expect them to. So as you're feeding your birds, make sure they have water throughout the day. Don't allow the drinkers to be dry. The moment you see water reducing, make sure you add water. Add water. Let them have water 24/7. They love drinking water, especially if the weather is really harsh. They take a lot of water, and in that way, it helps in boosting production. So make sure your birds drink enough water, just like human beings. If you don't have water in your body, then you get sick. Okay? So as you feed them, make sure they have adequate drinking water, which is very safe and clean. Actually, in my poultry house here, in my poultry farm, I make sure I disinfect the water. We've had a struggle of water. Now with rainwater, it is really good, but it comes with a lot of diseases. So you must have a disinfectant. Like you treat this water so that you prevent the diseases on the poultry farm, especially like for typhoid, those diseases that come in the intestinal organs. They always come due to dirty drinking water. So when the water is good and clean, you actually limit diseases on the poultry farm. And then another thing, if you ever find the birds like they are sick, make sure you treat them on time. Don't underestimate any disease. The moment you find the birds are coughing, don't just be like, the cough is going to kill you on its own. Make sure you get the remedies, you get the treatment, and you treat these birds appropriately, just like a human being. The moment you delay to take medicine, then you get very sick, and then you find that disease is highly, has weakened you so much, and it is very expensive to treat. Likewise in the poultry farm, the moment you don't treat the birds early, the disease grows and it spreads in the entire house, and you find that it is very expensive for you to treat, and also it reduces production almost to the lowest level. I remember 1 month ago, in one particular month, our birds fell sick, and almost the production went up to 60%. It was scary. I couldn't know that it will, ever recover and stabilize. But I learned my lesson that when the birds are sick, I don't have to joke. I have to treat them as soon as possible. So if you want to maintain your production, make sure when the birds are sick, you treat them at right time, very early, as soon as possible. Isolate the sick ones, treat the entire flock, give them multivitamins, and then the production will still go on as usual. And then lastly, observe your birds. Like, come in the poultry house, have time, observe, sit to the call, like carry these birds and be like, are they still weighing the same? What is happening? Where can I improve? As a farmer, you have to be creative. There are so many things that you don't find on internet that you discover yourself on your poultry farm as a farmer, and you need to learn and you need to handle them. So as you are moving around, make sure you move around your birds, give them time, like watch them, look at the activity, like are they active, look at, and in that you will discover a lot of things, and then you will know how to improve and how you can maintain the production in your poultry farm. I believe you found something helpful in this video. If that is so, click subscribe, like this video, leave a comment for us in the comment section. What do you feel about farming? Are you a farmer or are you planning to be a farmer? Leave your thoughts in the comment section and let's learn together. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.